Dave, don't make this any sadder than it has to be, okay? Don't make me think about you not going to the emergency room. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pesterquest. Yesterday, we got to befriend Solix and Nepeta. We got all of the good, all of the bad routes, all of that out of the way. Now today, we got the two top kids of the hemo spectrum. Yeehaw! We got Eridan fishing for compliments, which sounds like he's going to be flirting with us, and because he's self-conscious. And we got Pfeffery, whale of a time, and the world's your oyster. If I'm remembering correctly, I think Aisha said that her dad helped write the Pfeffery part for this, parts of the Pfeffery episode, so I'm curious to see how this is gonna turn out. Also, there was like some sort of drama about it. I don't know what's up with the Pfeffery route. Some people took exception to it, I guess. I'm not sure why. It might be how Pesterquest's team wrote it. I don't know. Like I mentioned, like, in like the Q&A video, that I think that this new like kind of era of writers, they kind of look down on life players a lot. So I'm just curious to see if that's like a legitimate thing or if I'm just like reading too much into it. I tend to do that sort of thing, I'll admit. Anyway, enough rambling about here. Let's continue on with this. Looks like Eridan's first. Fight me! Oh, wow. Here we go. Clock. We at the ocean again. Looks like you're back at the beach, prowling around like you're looking for lost coins and trash with a metal detector. Except you're looking for friends and people whose lives you can make a little better with your reality warping powers. Come to think of it, maybe you should be looking for lost coins. You're not exactly made of money right now, to say the least. Is that a new aspect? The maid of money. Oh, that was the teleporting Eridan. You just came out of nowhere, good sir. And you seem to be, like, bigger than, like, most of the other ones. Then again, maybe you're just close up. I don't know about vectors. Anyway. What is this background music? I can't take it seriously. I'm gonna cry. Anyway. You look up and see a fishy dude sitting sadly on the shore. Not fishy in a sense that he's suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. But in the sense that he literally has fins on his face. Although he's definitely a little fishy in the other sense, too. After a few seconds, he heaves an exaggerated sigh and turns his head in your direction. It seems his brooding has been paused momentarily. Oh gosh, I can't remember Eridan's voice. I know I did it, like, for the epilogues. But that's about as much, and it was like 2 lines, so I can't remember much. Just try to channel your inner Octopimp, Jen. You can do this. Okay. Hey. You over there. Yeah, I'm talking to you. The one looking around to see if there's anyone else I'm talking to, when you're literally the only other person around for miles. Yes, thank you for pointing to yourself. Are you that alien friend slut everyone keeps talking about? Friend slut? Wow. You tell the guy that yes, you're basically the friend slut. It's you. That is basically exactly what you are. It's what you do, slut for friends. You ask him who called you that in the first place. You're gonna need to thank them for giving you such an apt terminology with which to describe yourself. Was it Solix? You'd bet a lot of money it was Solix. No, it wasn't effing Solix. Ugh. Jeez, you really are a hyperactive little bulge muncher, aren't you? No, that was something I came up with myself. After hearing everyone talk about you and shower you with praise on Trollian. I'm Eridan, by the way. I'm very rich and very important around here. I'm having difficulty figuring out how to speak with your quirk, son. And by that I mean on this planet. Wow, your sincerity. You sincerely thank Eridan for his nicknaming services. Something tells you that this guy might actually kind of suck, though. I suck. My Moirael and my Kismesis both spontaneously realized how much of an ungrateful piece of troll garbage I am recently. At least he admits it. And they dumped the hell out of me. Ripped my dang heart out like it was a grisly offering to the gods. Eridan turns a dramatic eye to the ocean. Oh, it's time for a feelings jam. Hell yeah! You can't believe your luck in running into the one mother trucker on this planet desperate enough to tell a complete stranger all his troubles. It's giving you the perfect ammo. Ammo with which to pierce his heart. With, like, you know, the power of friendship. Or something. So I'm, like, going through a lot at the moment because honestly at this point I'm feeling pretty worthless. Nobody wants to deal with me, or date me, or hate me. Nobody's gonna put up with my unending tidal wave of bull, so what even is the point anymore? Nobody wants to be my friend, and I don't blame them. That's not true, you say. No, you want to scream out so loudly that the entire length of the beach reverberates with your declaration. Against all better judgment, you want to be his friend. You want to comfort this broken-hearted fish boy. You're playing right into his finny little fingers. There is definitely something wrong with you. Are you just going to stare? Are you just going to stare at me like that? Listen, I don't do this for free. Open up in front of other people I've never met people pay good money for this. A good melodramatic emperor wallowing from yours truly usually costs a premium. Oh. What? Yeah, woe is me, etc., etc. Listen, are you going to give me the cash or what? This guy can't be serious. Why is someone rich asking you for money? Look, a guy can have hobbies, okay? Sometimes that means taking money from poor people because they saw me when I was having one of my bigger moods. You understand, right? Awesome. No, awesome. I can't with your quirk. It's so hard to pronounce. How do you do that normally? Please pay me for listening to my problems. You're starting to get the idea why people might have gotten sick of this guy to dump him without remorse. Calmly, you let Eridan know that you are, simply put, broke as hell. And I'm broke as hell. Anyway. Well, that ain't my problem. Shut up, Eridan. Tell you what. If you can't compensate me with cash, maybe we could find an alternative method of payment. Oh no. No, shut the hell up. I'm not talking about anything dirty or heinous or anything. Give me a bit of credit. Listen, I'm still messed up over Fef and Vriss breaking my heart as carelessly as a purbeast knocks over a wine glass, shattering it into a million pieces. If you couldn't tell by my beach gazing, I'm very lonely. What I want from you is to accompany me on a little friendly outing. Oh, is that all? Because honestly, you would have tried to get him to do something like that without any sort of silly prompting on his part, much less actual emotional extortion. This guy might even be more desperate for friendship than you at your worst, but you say sure, you're absolutely down to do anything with him. Really? That's awesome? Eridan tries to crack a light smile and fails. Well, I think I'll let you decide what we should do together on our little friend date. After all, you're the expert in this. So I'll go anywhere you think of. You have an infinity of choices to choose from here. Dang, really? You haven't been this overwhelmed with choices ever. You can choose to go anywhere in this rich fish jerk That's... Okay, maybe having an infinite choice is way too much. You have to narrow it down, but you certainly have more options than usual. Or maybe you should just ask him where he wants to go? You decide. Oh, gosh! I'm screaming! Oh, what the hell? Stolen art, let's see, you're not sure where to go. What do you think? Eridan, stolen art museum, stay at the beach, watch a movie, teleport to Earth, head to the anime store, find a graveyard. Well, I'm pretty sure he'd take offense to the graveyard. Let's go. So that's where you want to go. That's fine, I guess. Eridan frowns, morphs into a bigger frown. It's clearly not fine for him. Listen, forget this whole thing, actually. I think that maybe we aren't meant to be friends. Given that you couldn't anticipate my needs when you made your decision so carelessly. What the hell? You thought he was insisting on doing what you wanted. You were completely fine letting him... Oh, dang it, he's leaving already. Before you even said anything, stop paying attention for one text box. You stop paying attention for one freaking text box, and this is what happens. He's moping away across the beach away from you like a humongous tool. Ugh, maybe it's for the best. He's giving you some soft zebra vibes, if you're being honest. For once, you don't feel regret for leaving this guy off your friend list. Game over, man. Game over. Look at this tool. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. I wonder if it really matters. Or maybe all of these just... do all of these lead to bad endings? And that's the one good ending? I guess we'll find out really quickly. Anime. Yep, I thought so. Okay. Load. Here we go. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. I'm not looking at every single one of these. I'm just gonna go, where do you think, Eridan? I already told you. I want to go wherever you want to go. Dang it! You're hoping he'd pick up on your lack of clarity on the best decision. Does he really not have anywhere in particular he wants to go? Well, surely it doesn't matter what you pick if he's being so insistent on letting you choose. Okay. So, let's see. Teleport to Earth, watch a movie, stay at the beach. Honestly, dude, stop it. Oh, movie! Okay, that was the good one. We found it! Okay. Yes. Hell yes. Hell effing yes. You know what is up. We are totally in sync. You're not sure if that's a compliment or an insult. No, see, I already have movie tickets. I had them for like a month. And I was planning on going in a few minutes from now anyways. So clearly, we were destined to be together as lifelong pals. Because you knew exactly what we were always going to do. You're sorry he had movie tickets this whole time? Why didn't he say so? Oh, you know. You don't. You're a little miffed that he's just expecting you to know what he wanted the whole time, but you're not letting it get to you. Moving on. Let's get this show on the road. I'm calling up the airship right now, and we can take a nice little scenic route to watch the planet-renowned classic known as Shrek 2! Yes! How is this an Alternian movie? I guess you got it from Earth somehow. Of course you would have Shrek. I know it's a thing for Eridan and Shrek to be connected on, like, a spiritual level. And how, like, the fan base had, like, made that a thing. I can't say I completely get it. I don't want it explained to me, though. So, just, wow. This is great. And I know Hussey, like, wrote, like, a 2-page essay, like, all about, like, why Eridan and Shrek. But whatever, man. We all know that was bull. Anyway. What do you say? Your eyes widen a little and your body instinctively takes a spit take motion. You're sorry, Shrek 2? Classic? Finally, someone's speaking your language. It's an unironic masterpiece that... Suddenly a hazy memory pops into your head of Shrek and Eridan standing side by side in a desert, surrounded by the black void of a cracked sky, and just as quickly as it pops into your head, it disappears. Oh boy, what the heck was that? Is your mind playing tricks on you? Was Aaron smiling just then? You're not entirely sure why that stuck out to you. This vision was so out of place that... Whoa. We're on an airship. That... Were it not for Aradia, you were starting to think none of your vague past memories were real. In fact, it almost makes you doubt that any of what you're experiencing is real. And yet it strikes you as familiar. Is there something else you forgot somehow? Like you forgot that you read Homestuck? Anyway. You refocus on your surroundings. Suddenly you're on an airship deck and Eridan's walking in front of you towards the bridge of the ship. Holy crap, this airship's huge, you say. Also, when did you get here? You walked on it like any bipedal, quadrupedal, or septipedal alien would have. What are you talking about? Sorry, Shrek was making you disassociate. Oh, fine. I'll just say it again. Welcome to the airship de Emperor. It is practically my second or third home, and basically, it's incredible in every conceivable way. No kidding. The airship could probably fit a few city blocks on it, the buildings and all. Hell, it looks like it could fit at least 3 more conventional, less airborne ships on it. You probably would get tired walking from end to end on the dang thing if you couldn't teleport. What's up with the dresses in the background, Eridan? I'm confoozled. Anyway. You and Eridan mosey on over to the dressing room of the airship. The room is filled with a surprisingly wide variety of outfits, from various capes to casual t-shirts to flarp cosplay to... Well, there's a ton of stuff in here. There's a pile of ornate sticks in the corner, too. You wonder... Don't touch the wand pile, by the way. They don't do anything. Since magic is fake, after all. You resist the urge to laugh in his face. Of course magic is real. Those are all just confiscations that I confiscated from unscrupulous lower bloods in a store with many stacks of cash given to the owner. Definitely not something like having here. Right. Your eyes wander a little bit more around the room. Besides the elaborate costumes, the crazy levels, angsting ensemble. Really? You see a lot of really fancy dresses. They look pretty neat. You kind of want to put one on. It's about time you add another fan art generating attire to your wardrobe. Hell no, those dresses are mine. Wait, really? You're a little surprised. You knew he had a sense of fashion, but you didn't know his taste was so good. Those dresses look pristine. You ask him if he's never put them on himself before and if he keeps them here just to look nice. Of course I've put those on before. They're private use only, you know. And before you get the wrong idea, no, I'm not like thinking about my gender or anything like that. When I put them on, I feel nice and breezy and stuff. I mean... Let's be real. Genders are more or less fake as hell. Mess that puts unnecessary restraints on people's lives anyways. It's just so arbitrary, you know what I'm saying. To nobody's practical benefit, I might add. It's not even like there weren't trolls who were assigned differently at birth, even back a long time ago. Point is, the concept that gender is strictly binary isn't archaic. Bloody, I hate freaking politics getting tossed in here where it doesn't belong. Okay. It's just flat out wrong. And I think it honestly is kind of screwed up. Especially since people who go out and say it's stone set in law are just using it as an excuse to divide people up and flaunt their superiority. Eridan, 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 I don't care about this. Please shut the hell up. It's clear something in Eridan's voice that makes it clear he spent a lot of time thinking about this stuff. Something about the way he's recounting it all that makes you think he didn't learn this sort of stuff to impress people or appear woke, as the kids say. Or for any reason besides the subject factoring into his personal development in any way. Maybe he isn't so bad. Anyways, let's talk about the hemospectrum. Anyone lower than yellow is gutter blood trash that probably doesn't deserve the horrid life they live. Which is why I've planned so many raids on their neighborhoods on this very ship and spent so much time sniping leagues in the air and shooting holes into low-blood feet. That'll show them having less satisfactory essences coursing through their veins. You immediately fall to your knees and start throwing up on the floor. Yep. This boy's still trash. Corey. I don't think you're watching any of these, Corey. I wouldn't know. But your boy is kind of garbage right now. Oh my gosh, this kid. Anyway. You quickly reassure Eridan that you didn't unceremoniously barf all over his likely priceless carpet in response to his overwhelming classist statements and conflicting, almost hypocritical viewpoints on different it works well in print on page, but not so well reading. Just like Eridan's freaking quirk. Anyway, different hierarchical power structures. No, you just puked your guts out for some other completely different reason. It was probably just something in the air that smelled. Something's just full of crap. Yeah. Whatever you say, I guess. You decide to hit the conversational go back button and challenge Eridan on a much more interesting topic that came up. Why isn't he very public as an ally if he's so fascinated with the subject of gender? What, are you kidding? I'm not an ally. I haven't done anything. Even if I were, I don't know if you've noticed from my whole quadrant situation, people know and hate me. It's like I've been in a relentless flirt that it's become policy at some theaters and restaurants for employees to stab specifically Eridan Emperor in the hand if I annoy them. Which isn't too big a deal because violet bloods like me are pretty sturdy, but I suck, and I bet half this whole planet knows it. To the extent that, like, if I openly support something like the discrimination of gender nonconforming trolls, any existing groups would hate me, and anyone outside those would use it as an excuse to deride the seriousness of it all. And I'm not going to be selfish about this thing in particular. Oh, you didn't really think about that at all. Even then, surely it wouldn't be bad as Eridan thinks, right? Ugh. At this point, I'm used to being hated. Comfortable with it, even. At least it means someone's thinking about me. There's a palpable loneliness in his words. Maybe this is why he's so desperate all the time. Anyway, let's talk about something else. Like Solix. Ringing phones. BRB. Do you know if he has the rumored and highly sought-after double bulge or not? Just curious. I'm pretty sure that got, disproven a while back. I can't remember exactly. Anyway. Moving on. Eridan's route is making me just more and more despondent. What? I'll ask him myself. Before you say anything else to dissuade him from simultaneously being a huge creepy jerk to one of his friends and possibly unraveling one of the most unnecessary mysteries of patrol biology, Eridan whips out a palm husk and starts frantically dialing in some numbers with extreme precision. Hey. Alpha F's sake, this better not be about your ex again. Didn't I tell you 1,000,000 times to stop talking to me already? First of all, don't rub it in about Fef. I can come to your house and put a bullet through your skull. Second of all, I'm here to ask something else. Do you have a double bulge? Wow, what the hell? You actually kind of hate this conversation. When you look at Eridan, you get the feeling that despite initiating it, he kind of does too. He's pacing around frantically. I've heard rumors, pal. First off, not your pal. Second of all, what makes you think I don't have a triple bulge? Screw off. Listen, we aren't unraveling this mystery for a couple sweeps at least. It's too funny to do that. You are way, way too lame. Why do I even talk to you? You should be ecstatic that I graced you with my effervescent phone presence. You mean palm husk? What the hell ever, dude? Cranky because I'm irresistible, aren't you? F you. Ever since the apocalypse got cancelled, you've turned into this completely moronic e-boy. It's driving me up out of my mind. LMAO, do you even know what an e-boy is? I bet you're just mad because you got cucked by me super hard. What? Yeah, I've basically been making out with FF for at least 30 minutes now. What? Oh gosh. Pfeffery. Okay, let's see. Her voice, I usually have it just kind of high-pitched. Hey, Solix? Who were you talking to? An entitled sub. Put Pfeff on the phone, you quadruple-horned crapper. Oh, are you finally making fish puns? I am definitely making some kind of pun right now, yeah. Listen, you stupid mother trucker, next time I see you, I will kill you. Really now? Are you really murderous today, or just trying to get your daily negging in on me? Listen, how about we settle this whole mess now? I'm gonna head over to that airship you keep driving around the neighborhood in 2 hours. Get your dumb butt over here and fight me. You hear a beep from the phone. Solix hangs up. Eridan's face softens from an expression of rage and anger to one of tranquility and calm before he starts to laugh a little. Holy crap. This date I'm about to go on. Wow. You put a hand on his back and congratulate him. He seems as anxious as he is ecstatic at this moment. Somehow he's completely changed his demeanor from when he was talking to Solix. It was like he was almost playing up his awfulness. He starts mumbling to himself about what he's going to do and say to Solix when he gets here. A lot of it sounds pretty rude, but also rather performative, like a wrestler says they have a fictional beef. You decide to take this opportunity to snatch a cape. Gotta update your ever-growing wardrobe. Some time passes, and you make your way to the airship deck with Eridan, who's having trouble keeping his face from cracking into a smile, or at least the closest expression you've seen him having one. Solix hovers in front of you a couple feet above. When you look up at him, his frown contorts into something more akin to a snarl, and red and blue energy starts crackling around his eyes like lightning. Remember when I asked you to stop calling me? What? I've asked you literally 40 times to stop doing that, and so many other things, and you haven't listened. So I've decided I'm going to cut you out of my life, one way or another. Understand? You look at Eridan. He looks a little less ecstatic than he did before. He gazes directly at Solix above him with a worried look on his face, shifting his general stance so that he can better keep his balance. You have a feeling this is more than he bargained for. You look down at the ground and reflexively brace yourself for impact. You felt combat psionics before with Azdaja, and stuff gets crazy fast. This is a good thing you did, too. You hear much louder crackle this time and look up at Solix, an aura now visibly enveloping his body. Oh, yay! I love this theme. Okay. He's glowing red and blue with lightning still energizing into existence inches away from his eyes. You feel the shockwaves of his pure psionic force weighing you down, making your legs feel more like jelly every second. It's as if gravity itself is bowing down to Solix. Ah! Oh, come on. Now, is this... Is this all you've got? This is something about Eridan's feeble taunt tells you that this is absolutely more than he bargained for. Oh, here we go. Ahab's crosshairs. Okay. Nevertheless, he pulls out his gun and aims it right at Solix with completely unwarranted confidence. Solix's psychokinetic force is so overwhelming that your legs give out and you hit the deck, stomach to the floor, knees to the ground, butt in the air. Yeah, there's pretty much no way you can stop this. Solix shoots laser beams out of his eyes, and Eridan returns the favor with his own gun's laser, resulting in the most anime beam struggle you've ever seen. The clash ends in a huge explosion of smoke that obscures everything from view. Defying the force of the blast, you zap into the smoke to get a better look. You're quickly met with a vast array of shurikens spinning wildly through the air in front of you towards Eridan, using smoke as a cover. Eridan blasts most of them away, but the largest lodges itself into the barrel of his gun. As if to say nothing personal, Solix flies out from behind, swiftly drop-kicking Eridan into a cannon which seems to have been loaded with glitter? How barrel of the gun? But it's like a spear at the point. Interesting. When Eridan crashes through the other side, he's collapsed, covered in scrapes and confetti. He's bleeding less than you expected. Nothing personal, idiot. By the time Eridan gets up and dislodges the shuriken from his gun, Solix has disappeared from your fields of view. What? Where the hell did he... You hear literal tons of rock crumbling from below. You look down and see nothing. You look left, right, behind you, all around, upwards. He's above you. Pointing upward, levitating some kind of Is that a shopping mall? Did Solix bring a mall to a gunfight? Wait, that mall. It's that mall. The one where, in an errant timeline, Daria pleaded with you to take her to Earth, away from this hellish planet society and its world and into a world that's even slightest... Okay, let me read. Away from this hellish planet society and into a world that was even less the slightest bit bleak. You lose yourself briefly in your thoughts. You couldn't help Daria then, and now it'd be easy to go fulfilling that one request is impossible yet again. It's so frustrating and phone! Okay. You couldn't save Daria. You couldn't save anyone. And maybe it's too late for you to do that, but... Maybe you've been screwing around too much today. Maybe, just maybe, there's someone you can save right now. The mall is massive, and if it collides with the ship from that high above... Aw, man, you gotta get out of here. Gotta give you credit here, Saul. Nobody's ever tried to maul me with something so big. What the heck do you mean, maul? What does that even mean? Maul isn't a verb. Oh, I get it. He's mauling him. That's funny. No, hold on. Okay, I see we're thinking of two different words around this that sound the same. Wait. I literally could not care less. Solix flings the thankfully abandoned Maul directly at Eridan with what must be an ungodly amount of psychic force, screaming his throat raw the entire time. Okay, it's now or never. You have to get off the ship now. Eridan might be durable enough to survive getting drop-kicked through solid steel with nothing more than a couple scratches, but you're fragile. You'll probably die from tripping on the stairs wrong. Even then, there's no way Eridan's getting out of this unscathed. Maybe you have time to save him. What should you do? Get in there and save Eridan. It's too dangerous. Get off the ship without him. Well, I'm guessing we were wanting to save him, so... Okay. You can't just sit here and let someone, even someone like Eridan, get sandwiched in between a massive airship and an entire mall. You've got this. You're about to jump in like a action hero and save Eridan. What was there to worry about anyways? All you have to do is teleport in and out. Alright, step 1, teleport in. You zap right in front of Eridan and he immediately shoots your arms off. Okay. Ow. Eridan clearly wasn't planning to injure you so badly, and you see quickly that he's rocketing off the edge of the ship using his gun's blast propulsion. Dang, he already had an escape plan, and... Geez, this hurts. Your arm and what's left of it feels like it got plunged into the freaking sun. Why didn't anybody tell you that sudden laser beam amputation hurts this much? Distracted by the pain, you find it hard to focus on warping out of here. You can't even bring yourself to focus on Solix yelling, "Dang, no," as the Titanic shopping structure hurtles towards you. You try to steady your breathing, calm down, and try to focus on reality around you. Unfortunately, reality doesn't stop for you, and neither does the unflappable march of gravity as the sheer force of the mall crushes you to death. If only you were a little less fragile, maybe you'd find 2 boys surrounded by the marvel of the crash site, shaken at the fatal consequences of their spat. Whoops. Well, we got the bad ending out of the way. Anyway, loading. Too dangerous. Get off the ship without him. Dang it, he'll be fine. If there's anything he needs help with right now, it's something a little deeper in his soul than the fact that he's being attacked by a building. You try to think of somewhere to zap. Anywhere. While you do this, you notice Eridan fire a blast towards the ship from his gun, propelling him away from the center of impact. You, meanwhile, you just need to get out of here as fast as your mind can take you. So you close your eyes, zap away, and feel your surroundings change. You find yourself in a wasteland. There's tons of smoke in the distance coming from what must have been the site of the airship's crash. You take solace in the fact that Solix was cognizant enough of his surroundings that he chose not to send the ship crashing into a city full of people because of a beef he had with one dude. After a bit of walking, you see the source of the smoke in the distance. The wreckage is astounding. There's a sharp metal fragments and concrete pointing out in all directions. Standing in front of it all is Solix. You frantically zap your way towards him and ask if he and Eridan are all right. Well, that'll show that guy not to ask people about the shape of their bulge. Yeah, we're both fine. He's not dead. Oh, thank goodness. For the record, I haven't actually made out with FF or anything yet. That was just to rile him up. You asked Solix what Eridan did to him that was so bad that he wanted to kill him. Okay, first of all, definitely didn't want to kill him. Way too much of a hassle. I would know if he was about to die anyways. Second of all, this idiot calls me at early o'clock and either spouts some high blood superiority garbage he doesn't even believe, or complains about his love life. Basically every day. So that's what he's saying. So what he's saying is that throwing a mall at Eridan was just meant to send a message. Pretty much. No, pretty much. You know, not long ago, he actually tried to pay me lots of money to wiretap Seth, just to see if she ever talked about him. Oh, yikes. Jeez. Naturally, I took the money and didn't do it at all. Massive waste of time and energy, not to mention skeevy as hell. I actually told her that because it was kind of hilariously pathetic. It's how we got talking in the first place. But enough about me. Why don't you even care about this guy? I get your whole friend shtick, but he's not your responsibility, nor mine. Maybe Solix is right. Maybe it's not your job as a friend to make Eridan feel better or fix his problems or set him on the right track. That's probably what is why everyone gets sick of him. But you're supposed to do something here for everyone. You feel it. You're supposed to smear your huge butt all over Destiny and say, "Eat my butt, Destiny. All these kids will get the chance to get good lives." LMAO. You're sure this isn't about some kind of hero complex? Maybe. Probably. You wish Eridan could be a little less of a tool bag. Is that too much to ask? Well, I guess you can do whatever you want. I won't stop you. But he doesn't deserve this. You know. Maybe not, but this doesn't change what you're gonna try and do. You gotta say this to Eridan. No, you got a lot to say to Eridan. You wave Solix goodbye and make your way around the field of rubble. It only takes you a few minutes to find Eridan sitting on some rocks. Ugh. Effing. That hurt like hell. He's alive. Of course I'm alive. You think I died just because a building got thrown at me? Ugh. Actually, if I didn't blast myself out of the way, I probably would have been buried under a lot more rubble. Probably wouldn't have been able to dig myself out. Solix probably could have done that, but if he went this far to kill me, I doubt he'd do that willingly. There's no way he hates me in that way that would lead to a decent Caligulous relationship. I was actually pretty close to biting the dust there, huh? Hey, do you ever think of yourself that you have all this power that you could ever want or need, and every whim catered to with ease, and that even despite all your happy moments, even despite all your happy moments, are fake as magic is, maybe even more fake. There's no way I'm not doing something wrong here. After all, I can only wonder what you think of me. I'm just a scumbag who keeps setting himself up to fail, right? You ask Eridan if he wants the truth, wondering aloud if he can handle it. Listen, I'm not going to be in any more pain than I'm in right now. Haven't been dumped 3 consecutive times. And also getting crushed under several tons of concrete too, I guess. I can handle the truth, so just give it to me. In front of you, you see an absolute hopeless moron who's achieved their station in life through no work of their own, who's placed all his stock into social lies. He's cherry-picked the ones that have worked for him and rejected all the others. But what has that done for him, really? Absolutely nothing. Believing in this society has only ever hurt him. Maybe not even the same way it's hurt your other friends, but not even trolls on top of the heap are immune to Alternia's brand of poison. He's a 6-weeks-old kid who's ultimately just scared, lonely, and confused. Someone who doesn't have to be hopeless. Someone who can violently burn away all his feelings and rise from the ashes like a phoenix who decided maybe this next life is not, let's not be so racist all the time. You tell Eridan to get up off from his throne of wreckage on his sunken ship and start making his way to some pit stops of self-betterment before more people take grievance with him the way Solix has. Then maybe he can tear down all the false hopes that comfort him through the sweeps. He is the Prince of Hope. Okay. Dang, Okay, not that this isn't surprisingly deep-cutting and helpful advisory reflection, but like, there's no way I'm gonna remember all this. You gotta at least write this down or something. Don't worry, this is a text-based game. There's definitely gotta be transcripts available online in a matter of hours. I'm gonna be honest here, I'm gonna have to ruminate on all this for a while. But I think I'm tired of being and feeling so awful all the time. I don't know where to even begin with myself. And I think you might be asking a lot more of me than you think. Life never stops asking a lot from you. And it just don't stop coming and it don't stop coming. Bet the rules and you hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see, so what's wrong with taking the back street? Okay. Fair point. It's definitely gonna be a long process. There's pretty much no way you can force-feed the guy a redemption arc in the span of today. Hell, you'd be surprised if he didn't still suck a year from now. But even the crappiest kids can change a lot, with a good push in the right direction. Hey, Thanks for sticking by me. Even if only for today. Of course, you tell Eridan. What else are friends for? And besides, your day with him isn't over. What do you mean by that? After all this, you want to still spend time with me? Absolutely. You take Eridan's hand and pull him up to his feet. After all, you two have a movie to watch. This is my swamp! Yeah, victory! I don't think he said that in Shrek 2, though. And are there horns in the popcorn? Or what? I'm confused. Oh, gosh. But I liked Shrek 2 more than Shrek 1. Anyway. Moving on. We've got Pfeffery route to go. 2 Pfeffery routes. Life in the Dream House. Barbie. As you've had occasion to remark before, Alternia is a dark world, both because it's night all day long and because of its hideously brutal society, where the strong prey on the weak and the weak prey on the weaker, and all this preying ends only when the survivors are shipped out to prey on everyone else in the galaxy. Alternia's cruelty has been on your mind for a long time, but recently it's begun to feel intolerable. You decide to take a walk in the woods to calm yourself, but it seems that with every step your mood only grows darker, your agitation greater. As you walk, you remember the names of Alternian friends who had fallen to the planet's injustices, and your mood goes from bad to worse. You've been waiting around like a spoiled little self-centered narrative device for a lightning bolt of illumination to reveal your reason for living, to explain your particular insatiable hunger for friendship, and to show the destiny attached to it. You think you know who caused this, but why? You've been sitting here like a child waiting for a teacher to explain the answer to a difficult math question. Vriska and Terezi are arming up to change the world. What are you doing? Your usual bull? You're thinking, you're navel-gazing, and then a sudden blinding clarity. You understand. Vriska's right. Terezi's right. The answer is revolution. Who gives a crap? Who cares about some big dumb universe thinks your destiny should be? You'll take Dream Boulder's advice and choose your own fate. Take the answer to the meaning of your life into your own hands. Set your own course. Wait, are we a hope player? Because we have a dream heart player just telling us things. Okay. The gods, the fates, the universe, or whoever will have to jump back pretty sharply because your direction is clear to you at last. Your agitation turns to indignation, your indignation to outrage, outrage to anger, anger to fury, fury to ferocity, ferocity to white-hot resolve. The horrors of this planet have to stop, and you're feeling particularly dramatic today, doubtless due to it in part to the shift in narrative tone and general prose quality in this episode. So now is the time. Alternia's cruelty and violence have upset and shocked you since you arrived, but as more and more of the population suffering under these wrongs have become your personal friends, it's become unbearable. You're wondering all along, who will make it stop? Now you know the answer. If you are the main character, then you have to be the one to get the ball rolling, and you've begun to suspect that you can't die, so for reasons seemingly tied to your function as a narrative device. So that's a bit of characterization you can bring to bear. You no longer will you linger in the wings, waiting for the narrative to summon you to heroics. With this momentous decision girding for your unstinting effort, you set your mind to the question of how to accomplish it. You start by making an inventory of the strengths and weaknesses you possess and can bring to bear on the task. Strengths. 1. Experience drumming up friendship in the most unlikely situations. 2. Ability to travel instantaneously anywhere you want to go. Weaknesses. Everything else. This helpful mental exercise clarifies matters significantly. You see that the only way for a single humble being such as yourself to change Alternia is to go directly to the point of maximum leverage. In other words, straight to the top. All you need, both your resources in this quest. You'll need to travel them superhumanly and superliminally to the immediate company of Alternia's ruler and throw your full friendship game on them, with the objective of persuading them to initiate reforms, change rules, and to set a planet on course to civilization. But your darting intellect realizes something else. It won't be easy. The ruler of a world such as Alternia must be a fearsome fell creature, a monster of no ordinary loathsome and cruelty. On Alternia, you've seen gigantic, ravening Luci, genocidal clowns, murderous highbloods, and every kind of grisly crime, to the point making belief in Santa Claus almost impossible. It stands to reason that the leader of such a world would also be the cruelest, gruesomest, most terrifying being of them all, a being of nearly impossible evil. I'm just waiting for that foot to drop, because we know where it's going. For the first time since this plan caught fire in your mind, a whisper of doubt creeps in. It occurs to you that the most likely outcome for your quest for the reformation of Alternia is a scenario where your internal organs are festooned over a wide area, your eyes popped out of your skull, and your brain splattered into a fine mist. While experience suggests you're not killable, that sort of thing may offend, not to mention be excruciatingly painful. Maybe it'd be a better idea for a light lunch and lie down until your reforming mood passes, or press on fearlessly with your quest. I'll go with what I think is the bad ending first. Oh, come on! If you, an indispensable narrative device with nearly superhuman befriending powers and actually superhuman traveling powers, won't try to reform Alternia, who will? Have you no pride? No grit? No old college spirit? Hell, go back and select the right answer. No. No. Okay, fearlessly with the quest we go. Scorning all difficulties, you decide to press on fearlessly with your quest. You gather yourself, consign your soul to heaven or whatever, and prepare for the worst. You close your eyes and think, take me to the highest being on Alternia. Then you grit your teeth and prepare for the ultimate terror. You feel the familiar sensation of superhuman, superliminal travel and the world changes around you. Wait, are we teleporting underwater? Can we breathe? Running you somewhere else, somewhere that feels quite different from your previous forest location? Very different, actually. A lot wetter. Yeah, we underwater. It quickly becomes apparent that there's good news and bad news. The good news is that instead of an eldritch monster, you materialize next to a rather pleasant-looking troll girl with fins on her head, wearing goggles and a tiara. Yay! I love this theme of thefts. It's really great. Okay. Bad news is that you're drowning, as you seem to have materialized in the middle of an ocean. Glub. Kelp! Your own greeting may seem a little less cheery, and it consists of being thrashing wildly and your eyes bulging out as you fight not to inhale. You try to concentrate on zapping yourself the heck out of there. The troll girl watches in astonishment, but suddenly seems to understand. You see her take a big breath of water through some gills on her neck, and then something starts to come out of her mouth. A bubble. The bubble expands and expands until you feel its boundary breaking over you. Suddenly you can breathe. She casts the bubblehead charm. You collapse coughing and gasping onto its floor, which feels like the inside of a huge submerged balloon, yielding but effectively keeping the water at bay. The troll girl sits across from you at the bottom of the bubble, studying you curiously and anxiously. I like the fact that she can make bubbles, just like the dream bubbles. Anyway. Glub, 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 are you okay? Recovering from your brush with drowning, you're able to notice that with relief that despite her conversational quirks, she looks friendly. Even glad to see you. You say something, you try to say something, but all that comes out of your mouth is water and a sputtering sound. I don't speak whatever language that is. It's pretty tough. No, it's pretty though. You burp and some water trickles out of your ears. Sorry, I still don't understand. Do you speak any Alternian? Oh, she has actual gills on her neck. I just noticed that. Awesome. Cool. Okay. With great effort, you gasp. Yes. Oh, yay! My name is Pfeffery Paishes. Glub glub. What's your name? You bubble weakly. It's nice to meet you, Blub. You nod politely, expel another half-gallon of water, then weakly say it's nice to meet her, too. Not at least because she hasn't been there. Things might have gotten unpleasant for you. You're welcome. But what are you doing here? Almost nobody comes this way. It's not really on the way to Anemware. Anemware. That's so weird. She looks sad when she says it, and you wonder that some poor troll child should be living all by herself way out in these submerged parts, so far from everyone. How did you manage to appear from nowhere like that? You almost gave me a heart attack, Glub Glub. You tell her that you were trying to use some superhuman powers you have to visit the highest being on Alternia. The troll girl seems to perk up at this. You wanted to come visit me? You shake your head vigorously to try to get the water out of your ears. The troll girl looks disappointed. Oh, you didn't come to see me? Oh. You apologize and say that you're happy to visit her, but that you misheard her last remark. You thought she had implied that she was the highest being on Alternia. Just goes to show how deep submergence and waterlogging can cloud your hearing. Oh, no, Glub, you heard me right. I'm the highest being on Alternia, most of the time. I'm the future Empress, heiress to the throne of the Alternian Empire. Which is a great big glubbing pile of whale poop as far as I'm concerned. What? You look around for multiple razor-toothed, fire-breathing, acid-spitting heads, tearing claws, and a bad attitude that you're sure Alternia's highest being must have. But then you start to remember your Alternian social science. You haven't had any formal Alternian education. You're not even sure narrative devices, however indispensable, are eligible to sign up for classes. But you picked the stuff up when you hung out around a place long enough. So you know that the Empress spends most of her time off-planet leading merciless troll hordes in conquest of the galaxy. You also know that there's only ever one other member of her royal fuchsia bloodline, the heiress, in existence at a time, as long as the Condis doesn't kill her on the rare visits to home planet, that is. The troll girl gloves sadly. You realize that being the only fuchsia blood on this planet must be lonely. Not only would you have enough strength to accidentally tear any troll who visited you limb from limb without noticing, but you've heard some sinister things about the heiress's lucis. Something about it being the size of a continent, hungry as the void of space, and evil as hell devils go if they're bad devils. Something that might discourage casual visits by friends who don't want to double as snacks. But at the same time, you wonder that such a seemingly inagreeable and sensitive troll as this girl could preside over such a grindingly horrible planet as Alternia. How does she live with herself? Does she even know what goes on outside her insular little ocean? But you put all that aside for now. Here you are, right where you wanted to be when you made your master plan for Alternian reform. You haven't been devoured, dismembered, or decapitated, and the person you want to persuade seems eminently persuadable, not to mention friendable. So you're ahead of the game so far. Time to take full advantage. Your Royal Highness, you begin. Glub, Glub. No, Glub. Call me Fef, Blub. It's a much friendlier to be on fish name basis, and I'm so happy and excited to have another friend. Perfect. Phase 1 of your plan seems to have practically accomplished itself, but there's no time to waste, as the air in the bubble your new friend created is starting to get stuffy, and you know you're going to have to zap out of here soon. You mention in a casual conversational tone that you've been visiting Alternia for some time now. Blub. Do you like it? It's certainly unusual. That's putting it lightly. I'm sure everyone has been incredibly mean to you. Well, yes, to start off with at least. The Sea Dwellers think they're so much better than everyone else, and they're just a bunch of shellfish, arrogant bassholes. The High Bloods prey on the Low Bloods, and no one cares how the other people feel, or even if they live or die. Drones fly around killing anybody weak or useless. Oh, well, she seems to know? Maybe she's got plans of her own? Phase 2 of your plan is half in the bag already. You feel dizzy suddenly at how your quest is working out without the least effort of your part, and also from lack of oxygen. You're gasping for breath, and a darkness is gathering at the edges of your vision. In about a minute, you're going to pass out from oxygen deprivation. What's to be done? Zap yourself the heck out of there and back to Alternia's surface where you can at least breathe. Stick around and test out the whole you can't die hypothesis. Let's try the can't die hypothesis. You're fading fast. A black tunnel is closing around you and sounds are getting dim. You wriggle your fingers and try to gasp out an entreaty.
Glub, are you okay, Blub?
For a reply, you clutch your throat, fall heavily to the floor, and lose consciousness. Oh hey, we're in her palace. There's air in here. It looks really cool. You gradually regain your consciousness, and as you do, you realize that the air is going through your lungs. Fresh, oxygenated air, the most beautiful thing you've ever felt. You realize also that you're in a palatial, though messy. I think palatial is correct. Though messy bedroom, and while you see underwater realms outside the windows, the room itself is dewatered. The fresh air seems to be coming from a large conch shell sitting on the floor nearby and humming quietly like an air purifier. You've swooned on a chaise lounge, and Pfeffrey is fanning you with a large palm frond.
Glub, are you all right, Blub? Why didn't you tell me you couldn't breathe? You scared the...
Oh gosh. What is that word?
You scared the piscine out of me.
You struggle upright and try to smile bravely. You apologize for scaring her, but observe that one of the symptoms of not being able to breathe is not being able to talk. You thank her effusively for saving you.
Glub, that's an Empress's duty. Instead of encouraging people to be mean and hurt each other, she should do whatever she can to help them.
A tear comes to your eye and a lump in your throat when she says that. If she really means it, you have a couple of suggestions.
Of course I mean it. I've glubbed at how abysmal things have been around here. When I'm Empress, things are going to be different.
You respectfully wonder how long that'll be before she becomes Empress.
Only a couple thousand more sweeps.
Cool. What happens to everyone Alternia in the meantime? Pfeffrey looks momentarily thoughtful.
I don't know. I haven't thought about it
Okay. Difficult to read quirk. Here we go.
I haven't thought that part out. I guess I'm not equal to my big ideas.
And what if she becomes Empress? What if when she becomes Empress, she feels differently? How does she know her imperious condescension doesn't feel the same way as Pfeffrey does? Now, let's see. How does she know her imperious condescension didn't feel the same way as Pfeffrey does now when she was her age? What if there's something now that makes adult Empresses evil? Something they can't control? What if Pfeffrey grows up to be socially liberal, but fiscally conservative?
What a horrible thought!
Again, politics. I'm sick to death of them. Could we stop and just chill for a second? Amen. Anyway. You have to strike while the iron's hot. Never leave till tomorrow what you can do today. A stitch in time saves 9. Procrastination is the thief of time. I'm pretty sure Vriska would be upset by that statement. Then again, we don't have a thief of time, do we? No, we don't. Okay. The longest journey starts with a single step. It's no use crying over spilled milk. You hope Pfeffrey has been convinced because you're running out of cliches.
Glub.
The heiress still looks uncertain.
Everything you say is plumb and true, but rebelling against the Empress, that would be so dangerous, and I'm not sure it would be right. It might cause Glub Glub to make the vast glub. That would destroy everyone, you know.
Oh, glub, you mean gulp. You didn't realize that. You're not sure what the vast glub is, but it sounds bad.
Oh, it is. Before we do anemone thing, we need to murray guidance and advice. As heiress, I have a special metaphysical periscope, you know.
You didn't know that. That sounds made up. But a little metaphysical advice certainly might come in handy at a time like this. Without further delay, the heiress goes to an ornate jewel-encrusted tube that rises from the floor of her palatial bedroom. Seems to extend from the underwater depths to the though the air pressure seems to be keeping the water from flowing through it into the room. She yells into the tube, louder than you could have thought someone so agreeable-looking could yell.
Glub, 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 glub!
Oh, that's a tentacle from Glub Glub. There's a swishing, gurgling sound, and something extends through the tube into the room. Something pale and featureless as a lucis, but unmistakably a tentacle. a tentacle with a bulbous eye on the end of it. You dive behind a luxurious sofa. You'd rather that heiress's lucis didn't see how plump and tasty you look. But almost immediately the eye settles itself on top of the tube and hardens into something that looks like a large crystal ball. Ooh. A pearl of wisdom. Interesting art style change. It's pixelated. Yee. Shapes move and change inside the crystal ball, then resolve themselves into a scene you recognize. You realize with a shock. You come out from behind the sofa and approach the crystal ball, staring into it. In its depths, a dark place appears, and in the dark place, a carnival carousel rotates. Wooden horses going up and down, and above them, naked plastic mannequins with plastic wings hanging from wires. What does the Dark Carnival have to do with this? The Dark Carnival? Jumping Jehoshaphat. Is that where Pfeffrey gets her metaphysical advice? That sounds like a terrible idea. The scene grows clearer and clearer. Clearer and closer, zooming in on one of the horses and on the figure riding it, but your heart begins to beat wildly. It can't be. But... Honk! Karako, my baby! What are you? Oh, my baby. Suddenly, you're dancing around the room with joy. You grab Pfeffrey and whirl her with you as you dance. At first, she gasps in surprise, but then she gets into the spirit, grins and begins to whirl too. Her strength is so much that she spins you like a fan blade. Your blood is going to your legs, and when she lets go, you hit the wall like a bullet and ooze down to the floor. As you recover consciousness, your joy is barely containable. You never thought you'd see that sweet fellow again, and now here he is, and evidently he's come up in the world because he's communicating exclusively with royal fuchsia blood princesses. You're so proud your heart feels like about to explode.
My friend Glub here. They have a plan.
Well, you wouldn't go that far.
I'm just not sure what to do. Honk, 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 honk. Just hold on.
Pfeffrey adjusts some controls on the bejeweled tube. They must be translation controls because mid-sentence Karako's remarks change from semantic honks into conversational language forms. When they do, you recognize this isn't the same Karako you knew way back then.
Honk, honk!
What you ask is not simple, little one. To truly know the answer, you must learn that there is much more to your story than meets the eye. You must expand your vision to see the big picture, an even bigger picture, of which that picture is only a pixel.
Yes, I know that. This isn't the usual glubs. Not silly quadrant glubs for wigglers. I need real answers here.
You study Karako. He's obviously the same troll, but the changes in him are equally obvious. His eyes are deep as wells, his face grave and kind. Either he's done a lot of reading and undergone a lot of life experience since you last saw him, or else he's become the honking mouthpiece of some vast mystical wisdom-type entity, which offers metaphysical advice to princesses. Perhaps whatever person or process sustains the Dark Carnival? But how did Karako get that job? You wave madly at Karako as he and the heiress talk, but either he doesn't see you, or he no longer knows you, or he thinks imparting serious metaphysical advice is too solemn an occasion for waving like a maniac. Either way, he ignores you and keeps talking. Does a troll who paddles an ore vessel down a rushing river control her own fate, or does the river control her? Oh gosh, river talk again. The answer, of course, both. The river has its force, but with that, the troll can move her boat where she will. You are the heiress, and thus the fate that sweeps you along is vast and swift and powerful, but also your arms are strong, and your ore vessel stout. Do not despair of your own strength. Yet there is more. We see by mystical means that the rushing river you navigate is itself being swept along by an unimaginably vaster rushing cosmic river, and that planet which that vast cosmic river traverses is itself being swept along in even an infinitely greater super-cosmic river. There are many such metaphorical cosmic meta-river levels in this particular instantation of the story. Ooh, capital letters. Thus, even if you row with utmost power to change your course on the river, you are navigating the river you can see. The other meta rivers continue to sweep you on as before, without regard for any tiny adjustments you may make down at your level. Yet do not despair. You may yet, through long and deep meditation, transcend the bounds of this small world, rising higher and higher so that you are able to see and comprehend and transcend those vast and meta-cosmic river levels one by one. And what you can see, you can learn how to navigate, using meta-vessels and meta-oars fashioned from meta-cosmic star stuff. Yet also remained humble. Above the creator of this world is yet another creator, and above him another creator, greater even than him, and above her yet another creator. These vast powers move all things like pieces on a chessboard, yet if the chess pieces grow wise enough, they may move the movers. The powers that move in this universes upon universes are unimaginably large, and as yet you are unimaginably small, and yet nonetheless for that you are in your smallness and your small world are indispensable, like a key piece at the bottom of an infinitely tall Jenga tower. Knowing these things, do you wish to undertake the great work of awakening and enlightenment that will bear you to full light of reality? It is a work of millions of mantras, thousands of sweeps, and hundreds of lives. Or knowing these things, do you instead choose to ply your vessel to the waters of your own world, maintaining the person life has made you? Remaining a key yet unknowing piece in the towering stack of universes, influencing your own destiny on your corporeal river, swept to destinations beyond your understanding, in fulfillment of the larger story. Either choice is noble, little one. Your only duty and burden is to choose the one that seems best to you. Oh, that hurt my head. I took that all in one kind of breath. Hold on. Oh, need to brush off my philosophy books. Anyway, Pfeffery turns to you. It's clear that both courses described by the wise one speaking through Karako hold attraction for her, and that she's on a razor's edge between them. The merest word from you will be enough to lead her in one direction or the other. Which would you choose to lead her? Influence the heiress to choose the path of meditation and transcendence. Influence the heiress to choose the path of worldly action and accomplishment. I'll just click this one. Worldly. Well chosen, little one. Step forward and tell your marshmallow-like companion to step forward too. A helpmate to share your worldly efforts is a blessing, and they seem a noble and loyal marshmallow, though a bit manic in hand-waving department. You and Pfeffery step forward and Karako's hand comes right out of the crystal ball, divides in two, and makes gestures of blessing over your heads. You immediately feel strength and courage coursing through you, and as the loosest tentacle turns back to the eye and withdraws from the tube, you turn to look into Pfeffery's sparkling eyes, and you see she's feeling the same intrepid energy.
Yay! I think a good portion of that was Glub's, but still, he has an eerily good point somewhere in there. We can't just be canoes. We have to be fish. Even at the end of the day, we are just little minnows. We'll be whales we're just little minnows. We'll be whales to someone. You start to grab her for a dance, but recalling your previous experience, you quickly turn the gesture into an offering high five, which she slaps, breaking several bones in your hands. Shall we do? No, what shall we do? You ask her. What's our plan? You feel the ability to accomplish any plan fairly overflowing from you. You'll have to introduce her to Terezi and Vriska to start off with, at least. Yes, Glub, but first I need time to think. I'm so excited. I'm sure the purpose of your visit was to reveal the whale of destiny that awaits us. But we need to consider our next move. Will you come back and visit me again soon after some tides have passed? Then we can compare notes. Yay! Glub, glub, glub. This is going to be fun.
Noble worldly partnership victory. Boop. Okay, so that was one ending. We got Whale of a Time. So now we just need to get the other one. Load. Meditation and Transcendence. Well chosen, little one. Step forward and tell your cheese-like companion to step forward too. Cheese! We were only compared to be cheese by one person. Fozzer! What the heck, Fozzer? Anyway. A friend to share your transcendental journey is a blessing, and they seem a noble and loyal cheese, though perhaps a bit overexcitable. You and Pfeffery stepped forward, and Kariko's hand comes right out of the crystal ball, divides in two, taps each of you on the forehead. At the tap, you feel a powerful fire course up your spine and through your chakras. The roaring flames obliterate all the world. When the flames subside, a resonant silence reigns. You and Pfeffery are seated in full lotus position on either side of a fresh air conch, cozy in a bubble floating deep through the vast oceans of Alternia, where you can never be found by anyone until you emerge fully enlightened and with the power of gods, many yugas hence. Eternal spiritual siblinghood victory. Boop. Okay, so what happens if we got the bad ending on that first one? To the surface. You're fading fast. A black tunnel is closing around you and sounds are getting dim. With your next to last strength, you grab Fef's wrist to zap her to the surface with you. You're not yet done persuading her to reform Alternia. Where do we go? But then you realize that you don't even know if she can breathe air. You feel it would be wrong to suffocate your new friend on your very first visit. So with your last strength, you let go of her wrist and zap yourself back to the surface alone. You materialize superhumanly and superliminally back to the forest. You lie in the tall razor grass for a while, gasping, darkness receding from your eyes, sounds clearing in your ears. Once you feel sufficiently reoxygenated, you sit up. You have a pounding headache, but otherwise seem fine, yet your emotions are deeply conflicted. Yes, you can breathe. Yes, you're safe. Yes, you realize with deep satisfaction, you made a new friend. But what about your quest to save Alternia? Pfeffery seems to be aware of the problems of her kingdom. Is she perhaps still just waiting on the right ally? Or Eli, as she might call it? You prepare to immediately zap back to finish the job. But you hesitate. What if you zap back into that bubble and merely continue to suffocate? Or what if she's already collapsed the bubble and you materialize in the water again? What if she's not there to rescue you? Or is so annoyed at your rudely abrupt departure that she decides just to leave you to your own devices? What if her Lucis notices you thrashing in the water and snatches you with its eldritch tentacles for a plaything or hors d'oeuvre? Not that you can drown or suffocate or die of mastication, but can you really not? It felt like you were drowning and suffocating quite efficiently there for a few minutes ago. You hesitate some more. Even if you can't die, the torment of drowning and suffocating felt quite real. How long might such torment go on even if you didn't die? Would an eternity of suffocating or drowning be all that pleasant, even if you were kept on living? What about all eternity of being chewed and passed through a giant Lucis's digestive tract? You realize that you can't bring yourself to zap back to the heiress. You curse your weakness. But given a choice between death and eternal torment, you realize that belated humility that your choice would be neither. Even if there's a chance, you could save Alternia. You stand up sadly and begin walking back through the forest. Make a friend but fail at life. Game over. Well then. That was something. Okay. Well. Cool. We've got fishing for compliments. You helped Eridan start to reflect on his worldviews. Well, some of them. And Whale of a Time motivated Pfeffery to seek the path of action and accomplishment. And the world's your oyster. You help Pfeffery achieve meditation and transcendence. We've caught up, son. We've caught up. I think the next one's if I'm remembering correctly, I think I'm correct, is supposed to come out February 5th, and it's going to be Jane and Dad that we're going to be befriending. That'll be interesting. How do we talk to someone who doesn't talk? It was interesting that the Dark Carnival, became a thing, and it seems like a very neutral power of the Dark Carnival. But the Dark Carnival's freaking fake. We all know it. It has to be. Come on. Wow. Oh gosh, and the Eridans. Ugh. I don't know. I didn't really like this volume. You ever feel like someone's, like, you know, politics and worldview are just getting pushed directly into your eyeballs and you hate the prickly sensation and you just want it to stop, but you'd feel like it was a rude thing to say, hey, please stop trying to justify your worldview to me. It feels like that. Anyway. Enough of that. I've got to edit the Solix and Nepeta episode that's coming out tomorrow. And I also need to figure out all the editing stuff that's going to go into Pokemon Sun, because I promised I would do that on my Patreon. Anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time for the next volume of Pesterquest. Thank you for joining me on this crazy journey, as I literally uploaded an episode like almost every day for a month. I will see you guys all next time. Bye!
Hey there. Consider becoming a patron, just like the phenomenal Bleed Red, Alexander Madeline, Uranium Coffee, and Ryan Nelson.